Back home and watching the Euros from our couches.
Yeah, back in Firenze, and let's take a look at it.
Good morning and welcome back to the Pink Table. As you can see, we are no longer together. We are separated again. We will be connecting. Myself and Lane will be meeting up again at the end of the month. And we will be getting our studio up and running, and we'll have our shows in conjunction then again. But right now, after the Rome game, we made our ways back to our home, and we'll carry on doing our show like this.
Yeah, so for the rest of the Euro tournament, or at least up until about the semi-finals, I'm going to be presenting out of Firenze, Damien out of Milano, and we're going to be taking a look today at the games that were played in the Euro yesterday and the matches that are going to be held today. So yesterday was quite an exciting day. What do you have to say about it, Damien?
Well, exciting. There weren't many goals, but it was good games. I think also I just got back from Rome. It was quite a long train ride. So I just got back. I was quite tired from just the Olimpico, getting back late. I sat on the couch. I think the first game was Denmark-Belgium. I was hoping for the Danish team to kind of hopefully, well, the score was 1-2. So Belgium obviously edging out there. I wanted Denmark to do quite well. Just considering all they've gone through, I think against Finland, they should have actually won that. So they would be going through the next round. For them to qualify as the third best team now might be a bit tricky unless they do a really good game in their last match. I think they actually, their last game will be against Russia, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so they should hopefully do quite well there. But yesterday was a 2-1. Denmark getting the goal early with Poulsen, I think, in the first 3 minutes. And then slowly, the Danish team were good, but Belgium just edged away and adding in substitutes like Kevin De Bruyne. It was just, there was too much talent in the Belgian team.
Yeah, like you said, at the end of the day, I think it came down to the amount of talent that the Belgians had to field. Early in the first half, up until about the 30th, 40th minute, the Danish team was really quite impressive with their press. They reminded me a lot of Atalanta. Maile, actually, Atalanta player, was probably the best player in the first half for the Danes, along with Kjær, who just took Lukaku out of the game. It was a really fun Danish team to watch, but you could tell by the 30th minute that it was unsustainable, and they were really going to have to pull it out of the hat to keep the score the way it was for the whole match. At the end of the day, the legs got tired. Better players on the field for Belgium, and we saw what happened.
Yeah, I think we put Belgium winning also in the predictor, so that was a win there. Moving into the second game, we had Ukraine-Macedonia. So Shevchenko's team taking on Pandev's team. Ukraine looked solid the whole game. They let Macedonia squeak back in just with the penalty, which was the defender tried to kick the ball out and hit, obviously, Pandev. Things happen. But it was a good game, and Alioski obviously taking the penalty, missing the penalty, but scoring on the rebound. But I felt that Ukraine was in charge of the game the whole time.
Yeah, the Ukraine team under Shevchenko's looked really solid. Macedonia looks like an interesting outfit, and we have to be very honest. The Genoa man, Goran Pandjev, at nearly 40, is looking absolutely inspired. I think he's really taking it to heart playing at a tournament of this size, and you can see it.
Well, it's probably his last one, so he's probably like, let me give it my all.
Yeah, and you can see it. He's enjoying his football out there, and it's showing. But yeah, at the end of the day, Yaremchuk is, as we can see, he's, I think, 5 goals short of Shevchenko's record in the Ukraine shirt. So he's no joke of a striker. He knows how to get them in the back of the net. And I think that at the end of the day is Ukraine's biggest asset. Is they may not be the best defense or the hardest working midfield, but once they get into that final third against smaller teams, they can do damage.
Yeah, and then moving into the last game of last night, we had Netherlands-Austria. Solid game from the Netherlands. Austria just not looking up task, unfortunately, but they have had 2 difficult games. Netherlands going forward with Depay on a penalty. That was a shock. Alaba obviously just put his foot down. I don't think there was an intent to foul Dumfries, but it was clearly a foul. VAR classified that as obviously a foul. Penalty was given, goal. And the second goal actually coming from Dumfries himself. So Dumfries is performing quite well as a right back. I have him on my fantasy team. I think the main reason there is Dumfries is classified a right back, but most of the time I think he spends his time in the other half of the field.
Yeah, arguably the player of the tournament so far because of his position and the way that he's influencing such a big team's results. But I think that if you take a look at the game last night, question marks on David Alaba. Yeah, okay, the penalty was one of those situations. But there were a couple of times where he really didn't look on for the pace. I don't know if that's because of the team around him, but there was one situation in the first half where he went to go catch the ball, catch the striker before the motion had started, didn't really judge the flight of the ball well, and really was made to look quite amateurish. So Real Madrid fans are going to be questioning if this is the Alaba they're getting. Yeah, I was expecting a lot more from Austria. This was cited as my game of the week. I expected Sabitzer and Alaba to pull out more for their team. Clearly, missing a striker like Arnautovic was a big problem. They didn't have a front man. They didn't have a presence up front, and it showed.
Yeah. Okay, so just moving into today's game, we obviously have Sweden-Slovakia. I'm very excited about that one. Croatia-Czech Republic. It's a do or die for Croatia. And England-Scotland. How are you seeing these games today?
The game for me, for everyone to keep an eye on, is going to be the game tonight, the Great Britain derby, so to speak, against Scotland, England against Scotland. That should be quite a cracker. I do see the English pulling away quite easily. I think we had them down as 3 or 4-0 even winners in our match predictor. But it's all going to come down to that Scottish defence. How long can they hold out? If they break early, I see the floodgates opening. But who knows? If they hold out for long enough, they might frustrate England.
And we've seen them hold before. Yep, so let's see if Scotland can do it again, but I feel that Harry Kane and co will probably break through that defense, unfortunately, but let's see how that goes. I'm excited to see Sweden-Slovakia. I think that's going to be a good game. But with that being said, obviously comment below, let us know which games you guys are looking forward to. And I don't know if we have some quick fire transfer market news you want to shoot out there, Elaine?
Off the top of my head, I know that Inter and Chelsea are in talks at the moment for a potential swap plus cash that would see Alonso move from London to Milano in part of the exchange for Hakimi, arguably one of the most prized assets in Europe right now, the right back. I know as well that Paris Saint-Germain is quite heavily involved in a potential transfer for the player, but Hakimi has expressed that given the option, he would choose the European champions, he would choose the Premier League. It would take quite a significant offer from PSG to convince him otherwise. But seeing the Donnarumma salary, you could even expect PSG to really put on a salary that Chelsea can't compete with.
Yeah. Also from Milan, Tomori yesterday was officialized, so he's signed as a full-time Milan player, so no loans, anything like that. We should have, so it's confirmed Tomori signed until 2015. I mean, well, that's a while ago, 2025. And so he'll be started. Milan's pair will probably be Kier and Tomori moving into next season.
So we will be coming forward with more transfer market news as we get closer to the Serie A season, as well as breakdowns of each team, each of the 20 teams in the tournament, quite a thorough breakdown and look into each one of the squads. So if you haven't already, please the like and subscribe button, and we will see you on the pink table.